Every time someone wants to change something about their life, we can bet there has been or there currently is one toxic relationship linked with what is happening to them. At least that is a pattern I kept seeing in the clients I have helped. Whenever they say they want a better job or they want to change something about their life, we can pinpoint there has been something somewhere, somebody who abused them or who didn't really treat them with respect or who didn't really give them recognition, and from there they try to change something else without addressing the main problem, which is what is the broken relationship or toxic relationship that is part of it. We may even mention the quote from Gary Lewandowski, if I pronounce correctly, on his TED Talk, explaining that relationships are the single most important thing in your life for you. It is the source of all of your best memories and it is the source of all of your worst memories. So it is interesting because whenever I get people who say they want to learn language patterns, how to speak hypnotically, how to use a sleight of mouth to solve conflicts, whenever I get people like that, we can pinpoint that there has been at least in their path somewhere one broken relationship or somebody who didn't really treat them well. I even saw an example of that when I had a side project on investigating how the mindset around money is affecting our success in life. And when I questioned people who really didn't like capitalism and money, etc., I realized most of them didn't even really had any political reasons behind that. It was only because at some point in their career or their life, someone took advantage of them. And if it is in the career, someone who was their boss, who was a colleague, a business partner who betrayed them. And from there, they made the association that everything about money was corrupt. But it was mostly about something human, which is not even about politics. It's just, yes, there are toxic people out there, and this is a relationship problem more than anything more complex than this. So we are going to dive into some language patterns that can help you deal with problematic relationships, or rekindle them maybe, if you are suffering right now from something toxic, and how to distance yourself from people who just drag you down and don't improve the quality of your life in any way. Basically, when people don't improve in any way their relationships, when they don't find the way to communicate more efficiently, to make more healthier and better relationships around them, they develop more difficulty over time to trust people. In their career, with loved ones, everyone. They have difficulty trusting others. They feel like the whole world is against them or like it's a dark place, and they become sometimes paranoid. Oh, this person is going to scam me. Oh, this one is just wants to betray me. They just get paranoid with that all along. On the reverse, when you have people who have developed their communication skills in their relationships, personal, professional, everything, and when they surround with the right relationships, therefore, they get a much stronger resilience when tough shit happens in life, because when you have a strong, let's say, not elite, but a strong group of individuals around you, really connected, and that when you know that whatever happens to you, you can call for support, emotional support, physical support, whatever you want, to people around you. That is a much different perspective to handle tough life challenges than when you are alone. They get some enhanced self-esteem because the more positive social interactions you have every day, the more self-confidence you develop in yourself also, or like it is easier, and it is easier to grow in any sort of area of life because same thing, you don't feel alone anymore. When you feel there is support below you, you can climb higher. Basic metaphor, but it works extremely well. So in terms of language patterns that can help solve conflicts in your relationships, that can help form better, stronger connections with the people, friends, girlfriends, whatever, colleagues at work, whoever you want to discuss with, who is part of your life, but that relationship is just dragging you down. Some language patterns might include, do you allow me to say something you may not like? Quite often we have trouble processing what's happening because we bottle so much anger because we don't want to erase more conflict in the relationship. We just stuff everything inside, and later we become passive aggressive, or we kind of numb even more emotions and we become non-reactive, but therefore the other person is like, what's happening? And since you don't talk, they don't know what's happening. So using that softening line is helping to get out the things you have to get out of your mouth, of your gut. If you really want to heal the relationship that has been damaged, those lines can help to introduce topics that are controversial in the relationship, or tense, or are linked to some drama that happened in the past. That way it helps solving those conflicts. The second one is when you need to establish better boundaries. May I ask, so still softening a little bit, may I ask, by which standards do you use to judge what is right and what is wrong in this situation? So this one is definitely about defining clearer boundaries and establishing you are fine in what you are doing. Sometimes you need to make compromises, sometimes you need to explain to people, this is my line here, this is the line, you just don't cross that anymore. If you used to, that's sad, I wish you did not, and from now it is over, you don't cross that anymore. By questioning them on their values for what is right or wrong, you are going naturally to bring them to their subjectivity, to they know this is right according to them, that's all, not according to you. Therefore, you explain, those are my values, those are my boundaries, you respect it, and I will respect yours. Third one, we don't necessarily have to agree on everything, and I won't try to make you change your mind against your will. The only thing I want to discuss with you is, and then you narrow down to the really critical point that is causing conflict in the relationship. Then the person might bring your attention to something else, and you say, hang on, I will address your point, first let's address mine, okay? And you stay grounded in your topic. The fact of explaining that we don't have to agree on everything is a pacing statement, is helping to frame the mind of the person in a yes agreement frame as usual. And from there, the little embedded command, changing your mind, can also help to frame their mind into accepting more diligently what you are going to say next. This one, though, requires to have investigated sufficiently your point ahead of time, before the difficult conversation. You need to target, by using eventually the meta model if you know how that works, clarifying what is it that I am really trying to say to that person. I would encourage to write it down, even maybe write down the whole thing you would like to tell the person. That way you write like 5 paragraphs of all the repressed feelings you have inside, and from there you select, okay, what is the main critical point that I need to address from all of that mess? You just start with that. And then eventually you proceed with the other parts, but stay on the most heated, inflated thing you really need to talk about with that person. And finally, last one, you don't have to agree with me on this. Slight embedded command again. You don't have to agree with me on this. And if you get mad after I say it, I will accept it. All I wanted to say was blah, 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 and then you proceed with whatever you want to say. It is kind of a future pacing. Even if you get mad at me, I will accept it. The point of naming the negative feeling they might have as a response to what you say is already cancelling that negative feeling. Quite often, if the feelings get out of control, it is because we don't put names on what's happening. We don't try to clarify anything about what we feel. As a response, everything stays stuffed and suffocated, and later it explodes because it gets out of control. If you decrease that tension ahead of time by naming the potential state, you may get mad at me after I say that, I accept it. Then you are already decreasing their potential emotional response they might have had otherwise after you say what you had to say. All of those language patterns and about 200 plus more are included in my upcoming book called Magical Linguistics. You will find all the strategies and all the strategies to handle conflicts like that, defend yourself, and also help people when they suffer from some limiting beliefs that they don't know how to get rid of or how to heal. You will find all of that in the upcoming book coming on Christmas 2024. And in the meantime, you can already download the small sleight of mouth examples, where you will have basic notions of how to apply those language patterns in specific situations of life, and you can just pick the one that is the most suited for your situation right now, and from there explore how you can develop your communication skills later. That is down below. Thank you for watching, for listening, wherever you are. If you are in your car, at your job, or right now interacting with somebody you have trouble with, in which case I hope this video will help. In the meantime, thank you and see you soon.